Welcome everyone to Football Amigos once again. It's your boy Mide as always. Glad to have you all amigos here. Hope you all have had a good day. Hope you're doing well. As always, we're excited to have you in this segment of our podcast. Of course, I have my three amigos over here. Let's get this right this time. Wait, well, no. All right, we'll skip
The
that.
last one, yeah. Let's just point up this time.
Let's just find out. There you go. All right, so first amigo, Ayo, how you doing today?
Doing great, doing great. Just glad to be with the group again, talking about what we love the most, which is soccer. Yeah.
Love that, love that. And of course, Sam, how you doing?
You already know, sir. I am doing well. No food today.
That's okay. That's okay. That's good. All right, Fugol amigos, excited to be here once again. Today, we would like to highlight some of the great moments of Euros 2024 in terms of those key moments. Now, the fact that we've had round one, round two, round three, there's so many key moments that have been exciting that has made this tournament one of the most interesting to watch. So we've compiled a list of our top five main key moments of the entire round one, two, and three of the tournament. Of course, please like, share, and subscribe. We would love to hear your five key moments from all of the games that you've watched so far as we move into the knockout rounds of the entire tournament. It's getting really interesting. There's a lot of math going on with who's going to play who in the round of 16. So we're excited about this weekend to start that round of 16. But of course, we're very excited to have you all here. So first on our list, we have to start from the beginning of the tournament, right? Opening game, Germany playing Scotland. We all know how that played out. It was a 5-1 really masterclass from Germany, and unfortunately Scotland not playing well. I mean, this was one of those games where the world sat back to just watch how amazing coaching and organization can be. And Germany, with a lot of the things that have happened to them over the past 3 years, with changing coaches, not doing well, getting beat by teams that they are higher up in the world rankings, not just from a UEFA standpoint, but from a FIFA standpoint. But all of a sudden, their new coach, Nagelsmann, coming in and completely changing the style and philosophy of how Germany plays, the personnel changes that they've brought in. There was a lot of backlash with certain senior players not being called. Again, he has a system and he's called the right players into that system. So I would love to hear from you based on that game you saw. What were your major highlights from the game and the players that stood out to you?
Uh, it was really fun to watch. I remember just before going in, I'd watched a 442 video about how Scotland have actually found a meta that can make them somehow competitive. But honestly, it was clear that it was a limited squad, heavily reliant on your wing backs. And towards the end of the season, and I think to be fair, which is kind of weird, most teams that relied on English talent had a problem with fitness. Uh, Now we can extend that to understand what it is about the English schedule that brings players out towards international competitions at the end in not good fitness, in not good form, because we don't. Germany doesn't play as many games. Spain doesn't play as many games. We play so many games, and so you see Tierney. Obviously, I mean he's never fit, but Robertson wasn't fit. You see
Mhm.
other players, and I think the other wingback was injured, and so I didn't really expect anything for them, but we really wanted to see what Germany could do, and they showed us that they came to ball, they came to represent, they're hosting, and they just want to be a good host and entertain their guests, and they did that for 90 minutes. Gundogan, every time I see him, he just finds a way to roll back the clock. I mean, he's 34. I believe right now, and you don't see it. He's just his speed of thought, his execution, his timing. They just have a beautiful balance of experience and technical mastery in terms of Cruz and what's it called, Gundogan, with youthful energy and exuberance with the younger guys coming from Musiala. You see words, and it's just this wonderful balance. that is pretty unique to them actually. Yeah, and yeah, they showed us what they're about. Shout out to my boy Havertz, he's a great player. So I was just glad to see him score and glad to see him win. Yeah,
Had to bring in Arsenal to it, amigos.
always.
Gee,
Yeah,
they had to bring in
yeah,
Arsenal to it. But
without
I
a
agree
doubt.
with you. I agree with you. Very entertaining game. Sam, what about your perspective? What did you enjoy about the game?
Man, I love my boy Musiala. I kind of talked about him in one of the shows. I think he's very, very versatile. I think, like I said in the previous show, him and Jude Bellingham are really world class and talents that you should look forward to. But before I, talk about all of this Germany, I want to say kudos to Scotland. I think they had a game plan. It
Why?
just didn't. Yes, I might be a little bit biased because I have a lot of family in Scotland, and shout out to my
Okay.
family, friends in Scotland. Germany came prepared. The odds were not against them at all. They had everything in favor of them, and they used it pretty well. So
Oh,
that's it.
great analysis, and thanks for, of course, giving a shout out to the family as well. Yeah, I thought it was a great game as well too. It was one of those games where you watch as a fan and you enjoy it, and you was as if from a coaching standpoint, and you see a lot of things that you can learn from in terms of organization, execution of tactics, and having a plan B, and actually that plan B working in the second half. So all around great game there. Second one that stood out from a key moment standpoint was the, of course, the man, the myth, Cristiano Ronaldo, the Portuguese game against Romania, and we saw a side of Ronaldo that we're not used to seeing. Ronaldo is a goal scorer. He scores goals. He breeds goals. And for him to be in that situation where he was 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper on the right side of the goal, and noticed Bruno on the far left, passed it across the goal when he had an open shot for Bruno to score their third goal. To me, that's why I respect Ronaldo. As much as people talk about him, and there's always that forever debate with Messi. Again, the fact that he made that decision, I was very proud of him. Sam, we'll start with you. What are your perspectives for that game?
Uh, I'm a big Ronaldo fan, by the way. What is he gonna do? Number one, he's getting hold. The game is already in their court. They already like ahead. What else? Is the captain? Yeah, I know he likes scoring goals. To be honest, that ball was a little too close. He might lose that ball if he try to score the game, try to
Oh,
score the
come
goal.
on. He
So
had the opening. He just didn't take it because he's growing. He's maturing.
I agree
I don't
with
know.
you. I
Mhm.
I agree on the maturity. Yeah, but amigos, let us know what you think. I'll take it over.
I'm in the opposite. Uh, I think there's a big question to be asked of is he a passenger in this Portuguese team? And you bring Gonzalo Ramos, and will this turn on a dime? Uh, I was impressed with his energy. I'll give him that. He showed more energy to some extent, and that's worthy of admiration at his age. But he is past it. It is clear he's past it. He is clear he's not on speed. What's it called? In the same speed with the players. It's I don't know. And when I saw him pass, I didn't see that as oh he's growing. I see a man who is confronting his limitations either in a fearful way.
Mhm.
I don't know what his what's it called, like a low confidence kind of way, out of fear, or versus like he's just maturing to accept his limitations, but he is limited, and so in terms of assists, like you compare him to Messi, I know this, but assist after assist, that's not a biggie. I don't feel that as special because you pass the ball like you're a football player. You should pass. It's like half of what you do. I don't know. That's where I am. So I say him, and I'm not really convinced with Portugal. I don't think they figured out their chemistry like England, and they have to decide whether he's a passenger or not, and whether he's a worthy passenger because I don't think his conversion rate is high enough to
Mhm.
justify his lack of input in other areas.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but
Mm.
that's
And
yeah. Hmm.
And then that's fair. And again, amigos, please like, share, and subscribe. Let us know what your thoughts are. That's why we have this. We all have different opinions. I beg to differ from that. I think
I
Ronaldo
can
is
see
amazing.
that we broke a Man United
Absolutely.
fans' heart.
And
Ayo.
not even the fact that he's United. He's one of those people that I have seen how he's one of those, and this is where it gets even interesting for me. There are situations where different players have gifts, and there are situations where different players have to develop their skill. Ronaldo is a clear example of someone that had to develop his skill that has brought him to where he is today. Now, yes, limitations may come up, absolutely, but you are a world class player when you can use your limitations to the advantage of your team. Again, as a coach, I was smiling for him making that decision because at the end of the day, yes, he may have limitations, but it's how you react to those limitations that sets you out. So, that same game, of course, in terms of decision making, we saw an absolute back pass shambles from the Romanian side. Guys, walk me through what was going on between the defender and the goalkeeper. I will start with you.
It's a big game. It's a lot of fans. Huge moment. They did, I mean, it's the first time to qualify. What, in 8 years?
Mhm.
I guess they weren't there for the last one. I don't think so. Just a moment. He didn't look. He just passed. It's pressure, and it's sad to see because even though in general the quality in Europe is quite high, but some countries don't really have the talent. And when like Scotland, it's like at a certain point you just don't have the players. Like, and I saw that and I just felt for them the entire way. But they
They have
fought.
McTominay. They have Scott McTominay.
So I watched them,
No,
and so I felt.
no, Sam, no. Sorry, go ahead,
Okay.
Ayo.
I felt that. I mean, they just fought, which is admirable, but they just didn't have it. And for me, it was sad to watch. Not because of like I blame the player, I blame the goalkeeper. It's just I just understanding like if you're not used to these moments, that pressure, eh, like Euro is not a place to discover yourself. I'll just put it that way.
No,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that's absolutely right.
yeah.
Sam, from your perspective, how would let me ask you this, Sam. What should have happened between those two to resolve the issue?
Just communication. Ayo kind of mentioned there. Pressure leads to lack of communication. Mide, you and I are defenders on the field. When you don't talk to your goalkeeper, or when goalkeeper don't talk, there's that 1 second of miscommunication or lack of communication that would kill you. This is why I give shout out to Ronaldo. If you look at the replay, Ronaldo was even at the forefront of that ball. So just imagine Ronaldo up there. Oh my God, the ball finally comes to the back. Oh my God, keeper is under pressure because we play in Portugal. Defender can't communicate. There we go. So I think it's just communication. Do it. You have to keep doing it.
I agree. I agree. We live and we learn. That's what I would say. Next, number three would be centered around the Italy game versus Croatia. And amigos, please like, share, and subscribe. I would urge you to go watch the highlights of that game again. We saw two goalkeepers from both teams that absolutely had an outstanding 10 over 10 rating in terms of performance. I mean, we saw Donnarumma from an Italian standpoint make saves that are out of this world. I mean, I call him a cat for a reason. I mean, the man is just a magnet to the ball. And then Levankovic, from a Croatian standpoint, too, had a very impressive game and actually kept Croatia into the game as long as they could, trying to win the game 1-0 before, the masterclass again from Calafiori, all the way from his defensive line, driving into the middle of the field and creating the chance with Zakanye to have that amazing goal at the dying moments of the game to tie it 1-1. Sam, we'll start with you. Like, what captivated you about the goalkeeping performance from that game?
One, I think the goalkeepers are just both relentless, a reflection of the two teams, for sure. I'm a big fan of goalkeepers. I like Buffon and I like transitioning to Donnarumma. So the two goalkeepers, outstanding, outstanding. I have nothing to say, but kudos to Croatia as well. And Italy, I love that's the best moment for me so far. Just the resilience.
That's awesome. I'm glad Amigos will find out Sam's favorite moments. Ayo, what about you? Like, what stood out to you in terms of the performance of the goalkeepers or just the entire game in general?
I mean, I was more surprised about Croatia's goalkeeper than Italy. Donnarumma's always been good. The question is how good he is on the ball because of how football is evolving for PSG. But he was fantastic. He commands his goalkeeper, his box, and his reactions, his composure, and just the way he encouraged his defense and just was try to keep them accountable throughout the entire game. That was very admirable. But all in all, for me, it was all about watching two teams with which are uh, which had a final product that was better than the sum of the parts. Like there's no like real stars to take him over the line, but just like collective desire and will. And you found out that it was actually the substitutes, people who were not so much worthy of the first team starts that made a difference. For me, my heartbreak moment was just Modric.
Mhm.
4 years ago, even if they lost or even if they drew, sorry, he would have seen that game to the end. But seeing him having to come off because his body just couldn't like let him go any further, I think that was sad. And I know if he could have like stayed the full 90 minutes, I doubt the game would have gone the way it did. But it's life. Like Jorginho had to come off. It's like
Mhm.
some of these guys are just getting old, and that's that part is sad to see. But in the end, in
Mhm.
terms of just competition and desire, it was just wonderful to watch. Yeah, maybe England could learn a few things. Mhm.
100%. I absolutely agree with you with that. England can definitely learn a thing or two. Number four, Igolo Kante. Sam, that's all I can say. What do you think?
Stored, strong, and very, very hardworking guy. His return, I mean, when you play way outside of where people see you and you return and you're in good shape and ready to go despite all your setback, outstanding, outstanding player and a person as well. There's really not a lot of time to talk about why I like Conte. This is back from the
Mhm.
days of Leicester City. But outstanding work rate. I play soccer and I love players that put in the work. And he's just high up there, man. Legend. Yeah.
Mhm. I think for me, it was the game against Holland that reminded me of how much it's important to have class and be able to show it and perform when the time comes. People say he's old, he has had a lot of injuries, but his recovery speed to stop, uh, I believe it was on the right hand side, it was Javi Simmons from attacking the box. He ran back about up to 25 yards to steal the ball from him and give it to his goalkeeper to switch the play. Just shows how world class he is from a French standpoint. Ayo, your thoughts, Igor Kante?
Oh, what can I say more? I remember the saying, 70% of the earth is covered with water. The other
Mm-hmm.
30% is covered by N'Golo Kante. Uh, it's like it's
Love
yeah,
that.
it's a wonderful wonderful saying because he's an engine and he's unique. I don't expect every other player to act like he has something in him. Like you think of Makalele before him, that they just have engines that they can just go all day. But more so than that, I think when I was watching him play, uh, uh, I was more impressed by how he's evolved offensively. So I do remember when he used to play for Leicester, he was a destroyer and he was a support. That was fine. And then when he moved to Chelsea, they started pushing him forward, and I used to find that laughable. And he'd make sometimes his decisions would have been good. Sometimes he won't. What's it called? Find the final pass or just run too much or just it was just very very awkward. And just to see him at 33 and just see that composure, his decision making moving forward was just exemplary. If you told me he was an 8, I would have believed you, but he really is a 6, and he's giving you that amount of output. So he's class. He's just I don't know what to say. He's class. Yeah.
I agree. Class is
Mhm,
permanent. I'll take him in
mhm.
United. I'll be honest. I would. I absolutely would. Last but not least, Austria. To me, absolute definition of a dark horse in this tournament. I mean, you have Austria, don't have that many players that are of significance. Yes, Marcel Sabitzer is the only one that comes to mind. But their star is their coach, Ralf Rangnick. I mean, that is one team. Amigos, please like, share, and subscribe. I would implore you again to go watch all three games that Austria has played, and you would notice how important it is. Again, an influence of a coach to a team that may not have stars, but have the ability to organize and understand a system and execute the system. And no matter what happens in the game or no matter who they play, still play the exact way and get results. They've been the most enjoyable team to watch, and I'm going to keep watching them as the tournament goes. Sam, we'll start with you. What did you like about Austria?
It's the discipline, man. Like you said, when you look at the three games, they had a game plan, they stuck with it. Sabitzer is just he's not on his own. He's not a star player. I mean, by definition of star player, he's a star player, but everybody on the team is a star player. Because when you look at the game against Netherlands, I don't know how they pulled that off. Um, really, really top notch discipline. Uh, what is it? I wanted to say something about that, but discipline, great formation, great coach, of course. Uh, but everybody's just putting in their effort. Yes, what I wanted to say is probably the most underrated team right now.
Oh
Austria is
yeah,
the
I
probably
agree.
the most
Yeah, I
underrated
agree.
team. Yeah.
Tayo, what about you? What about your perspective?
Two things. So in most successful teams, they live and die on their midfield. Uh, live and die on the chemistry in the midfield. You have chemistry in the midfield, you can run a game. You can make those decisions. You can find those passes. And in Austria, while we don't have stars, we have talent. So you look at all the teams that these people play for, these are top teams in Germany. So like they might not be household names like your Bellinghams or whatever, but they are very, very competent. And in those three players in the center, you have talent. And I think because they're not stars, there's probably a humility in that team
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
where it's like, it's we're going to work for each other. There's that
Mm-hmm.
understanding that we're not individuals, we're a collective. And probably, and I saw how Ragnick embraced his players after. I think he has also fostered that. So you see them playing for each other, and they use what they have well. They're well coached. They're very you can't just you watch them and you want to fall in love with them. You
Mm-hmm.
watch the way they treat each other, the way they encourage each other, the way they celebrate with each other. The togetherness, it is rare that he has helped foster, and it shows on the pitch. They understand each other, and
Mm-hmm.
that's 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 something you can build on. Yeah.
I agree. Efficiency is the word for me. I feel like from what I've seen on the field, it seems to me that number one, they hold Ragnick at a high regard. Number two, they listen to him. Number three, they understand what is expected of them, especially when they don't have the ball. That's what stood out to me for them. The goals will always come. They know how to score goals, but it's what they do off the ball as a coach that stood out to me, and I was highly impressed with that. They were quick to have a high block to steal the ball back. They retained the ball for majority of all three games, and they played against teams like Holland and France and made them look like they're still learning the game. To be honest with you, without they controlled the game. Now they lost to France, yes. Mbappe happened, but the goal was a deflection too, as well. Wasn't a clear cut goal. So to me, one of the best teams in terms of what you have and getting a result and performance based on what you have to me, Austria, hands down. As always, amigos, you've heard all of our five top key moments in the Euros 2024. I hope they've been exciting to you, and I hope it pushes you to go back and watch some of these games either as an extended highlight or just even enjoy the entire game. But we'd like to hear your comments as well. We'd like to read them. Please like, share, and subscribe. Leave your comments down below. It's been a wonderful time with you all. Sam, we'll wrap it up with you. Final thoughts.
I have a question for you. Would you take Radnick back in Man United?
Well, we're about to make the signing official for Ten Hag. If I was gonna make a wand, I would take Ragnick, but not as a coach. I would take him as a director, not as a coach, because he has the ability to develop teams with the right coach and create the right environments for teams to succeed. All right, what about you? Final thoughts.
Oh, it's been wonderful watching the Euro 2024. It's not like I remember, if I remembered it like getting interesting in the quarterfinals, and it's been interesting from the get-go because you just see a lot of teams that are very well prepared to put their best foot forward, and some of the stars, quote unquote, or the favorites, they need to
Mhm,
step up. Yeah, but I'm here for the underdogs, man. Like
mhm.
they want to fight, and that's very admirable. Yeah. Hmm.
I agree with you. I'll leave this bombshell here with you all, amigos. I just have this feeling this tournament might be for a team that we don't expect and not your usual 4 or 5 best teams. So keep it locked in, amigos. More contents to come. Thank you all so much for your time as always. Stay positive. We'll talk to you all soon. Take care, guys.